In today's video, we are going to create an amazing poster design in Photoshop. Grab your mouse as we dive in. First things first, we are going to create a new document. Choose a solid color. Now let's grab our asset for this tutorial. With this layer selected, we are going to copy this. Convert that into a smart object. Ctrl T to transform. Let's grab the next item. We are going to copy this layer. Holding down the shift key, we are going to copy these two layers. Convert that into a smart object. Ctrl T to transform. We are just going to position and adjust it properly. Set the blend mode to screen for this layer. With this layer selected, we are going to create a mask. With the mask selected, grab a soften brush. Roundness is set to normal. We are going to reduce the opacity. Set foreground to black. And we are just going to erase this portion. Create a new layer. With a soften brush, foreground is set to white. And we are just going to paint. Create a mask. Foreground is set to black. We are just going to erase this portion. Create a curves adjustment layer. We are going to grab this layer, Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. We position it right here. Now we are going to copy multiple items. So we are going to hold down the shift key on the keyboard. Then we are going to select these layers and copy all of them together. Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. Drop this layer right here. With this layer selected, Ctrl J to make a copy. Drop this layer as well. With the layer selected, Ctrl J to make a copy. We move it right here, Ctrl T, we right click, and we are going to flip that horizontally. With the layer selected, we are going to convert the layer into a smart object. Ctrl T to transform it a bit. The layer selected, Ctrl J to make a copy. Then we are just going to drop the copy right here. We transform it a bit. With this layer selected, we are going to press Ctrl J to make a copy. We position it right here, Ctrl T to transform. So we are just going to put it behind. We right click and we are just going to distort that a bit. Undo. We hold this side and we are going to distort it a bit. So we are just going to drop the layer right here. This layer selected, Ctrl T, and we are going to distort that a bit. Ctrl J to make a copy. We position the copy right here and we are going to drop the layer. With the layer selected, Ctrl J to make another copy. We are going to distort this a bit. We are going to grab this layer, Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste, position it right here and drop the layer. We are going to grab this layer and this as well. We copy them together. We are just going to put this right here. We are going to copy this layer, Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. Convert that into a smart object, Ctrl T, and we are going to transform this. We drop the layer right over here with the layer selected. We are going to create a mask. With the mask selected, we are going to invert that by pressing Ctrl I. With a software brush, we are going to increase opacity a bit, set foreground to white, and we are going to be painting some back. Now we are going to be painting some shadows. Create a curves adjustment layer. Reduce the opacity. Right over here, we are going to create a new layer with a soft hand brush. Foreground is set to black. We are going to increase opacity. And we will just paint. Reduce the opacity. This layer selected, we are going to create a new layer just beneath that layer with a soften brush. Increase opacity, set foreground to black, and we are going to paint. Create a mask with the mask selected. Foreground is set to black, and we are just going to erase some of that. With this layer selected, we are going to create an exposure adjustment layer clipped onto the layer so the effect applies only to the layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. With a soften brush, B for brush. Foreground is set to white, and we are going to be painting some shadows. So we are going to paint some shadows. We are going to create another exposure adjustment layer clipped onto the layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. Foreground is set to white, and we are going to paint some shadows. With this layer selected, we are going to create an exposure adjustment layer clipped onto the layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. With a soften brush. Foreground is set to white, and we are going to paint some shadows. It's basically the same technique. You are going to create an exposure adjustment layer. Invert the mask by pressing Ctrl I. With a soften brush, you are going to paint shadows or highlights. Now we just have to speed it so we don't spend the entire day painting shadows and highlights. We are going to create an exposure adjustment layer. This is for highlight. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. With a soften brush, we are just going to paint some highlight. Foreground is set to white, and we are going to paint. Reduce the opacity. We are going to create a solid color. Copy this hash code. Set blend mode to linear dodge add. Then we are going to clip the layer. Right click on the layer and go for blending options. So we are just going to move the slider just a bit. Hold down the Alt key on the keyboard, and we are going to break the handles. We hit OK. With the mask selected, we are going to invert the mask by pressing Ctrl I. With a soften brush, we are going to paint some back. Now we are just going to paint more shadows, add some particles, and we are just going to merge all layers. Once we have everything in place, then we are going to press Ctrl Alt Shift E to merge all layers. Then we are going to apply camera raw. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I do hope to see you in the next one. Till next time, stay creative.